In the heart of a bustling city, tucked away on a charming cobblestone street, lay a quaint little shop that went by the name of Mendes Haven. Its window display, adorned with ornate glass vials, each filled with a faint, ethereal light, drew the curious glances of passers-by. The gentle chime of a small brass bell above the door signaled the beginning of another day at Evelyn's memory shop. Evelyn herself was a woman in her early 30s, with striking emerald green eyes that seemed to hold the secrets of 1,000 stories. She moved about her shop with the grace of someone deeply in tune with her surroundings. The shop's interior was an eclectic mix of antique wooden shelves, adorned with intricately carved figurines and fragile porcelain dolls, all keeping silent watch over their fragile contents. Evelyn carefully rearranged a shelf displaying a collection of memory extraction tools. Each instrument had a hint of magic about it, polished to a shine that reflected the room's soft, ambient light. It was clear that Evelyn took immense pride in her craft, her fingers lingering over the polished surfaces, imbued with reverence for the unique ability she possessed. A weathered sign by the entrance proclaimed in elegant calligraphy, "Heal hearts, erase pains." It was a promise, a testament to Evelyn's dedication, and a quiet invitation to those who sought solace. The shop's decor told the story of a life dedicated to healing. Crystal vials held the fragments of both joyous and sorrowful moments, shimmering like delicate rainbows in the soft sunlight filtering through the lace curtains. The glass cabinet was a treasury of cherished memories, waiting for the right moment to be relived, and the tearful ones that needed to be let go. As Evelyn lovingly arranged a collection of memory jars on a nearby shelf, the soft chiming of the doorbell announced the arrival of a new visitor. Gabriel, a man in his late 30s, entered with an air of mystery that hung about him like a veil. He was tall and possessed an aura that whispered of secrets long buried. His dark, brooding eyes moved about the room, assessing the glass vials and the memorabilia, each a glimpse into the lives of others. He stood before the glass cabinet for a moment, his gaze locked on the shimmering vials, the swirls of colors trapped within, each an intimate memory. Gabriel hesitated, his hand lingering in mid-air, reluctant to touch the delicate glass. Evelyn observed him with a mixture of curiosity and empathy, understanding that the gravity of his presence was not one she should interrupt lightly. After a few moments of contemplation, Gabriel turned and approached the counter, where an assortment of antique memory extraction tools rested, waiting to fulfill their purpose. Evelyn offered a gentle smile, her green eyes warm and reassuring. The shop's ambience seemed to envelop them, its walls whispering the promise of healing and catharsis. Gabriel's gaze locked onto hers, his voice trembling as he spoke. "I need your help." In that moment, their worlds collided, and the story of the memory collector's romance began to unfold. The sweet and tender tone of their encounter marked the first step on a journey that would be filled with emotional stakes, intriguing characters, and a love that would transcend the very essence of memory. The quaint memory shop, Mendes Haven, became a silent witness to the unfolding connection between Evelyn and Gabriel. The world outside seemed to blur as they stood in the heart of the little shop, the air filled with anticipation. Evelyn, with her emerald green eyes, looked at Gabriel, her gaze steady and reassuring. She knew that opening the door to one's memories was an act of vulnerability. Gabriel, on the other hand, carried an air of mystery that clung to him like a shadow. His dark eyes held secrets that he had long buried, and now, in this quiet place, he was ready to unveil them. With a gentle nod, Evelyn invited him to the counter, where an array of ancient memory extraction tools rested, each a relic of the past with an aura of magic about them. Her fingers glided over the polished surfaces, as if drawing energy from the very instruments that had been used to heal countless hearts. She gestured for Gabriel to have a seat, a slight smile playing at the corners of her lips. The soft, ambient light that filled the room seemed to wrap around them, creating an intimate space that was detached from the outside world. Gabriel finally broke the silence. "I've carried these memories for far too long," he confessed, his voice soft but resolute. "They haunt me, Evelyn." Evelyn listened intently, her eyes never leaving his face. She understood the weight of memories, how they could cling to a person like an invisible shackle. "You've come to the right place," she assured him, her words carrying a gentle strength. "We can begin whenever you're ready." The connection between them deepened as Gabriel hesitated, his internal turmoil evident in the lines on his forehead. It was as though he were teetering on the edge of a precipice, about to dive into the depths of his own past. The room seemed to hold its breath as the decision hung in the air. With a slow, determined nod, Gabriel finally took a deep breath and closed his eyes. Evelyn retrieved a delicate silver vial from the counter, its surface etched with intricate patterns. She moved with a grace born from years of experience, her hand steady and sure. Gently, Evelyn touched the vial to Gabriel's temple, and as she did, a soft, golden light enveloped them. The room seemed to come alive with a warm, otherworldly glow. Evelyn focused, delving into the recesses of Gabriel's memories, aware that she was treading on sacred ground. As Gabriel's memories began to surface, they danced like fragile butterflies, each one a piece of his past, both beautiful and painful. Evelyn's concentration was unwavering, and she could feel the weight of his emotions in the room, a palpable presence that seemed to draw them closer together. Time seemed to stand still as they ventured deeper into Gabriel's past. His expression shifted from moments of unbridled joy to the depths of heartache, and Evelyn was there with him, a silent companion in his journey. It was an intimate dance of memories, and they moved through it together, the room filled with emotions and the silent promise of healing. As the memory extraction continued, the room was bathed in a soothing, golden light, a reflection of the catharsis taking place. Evelyn and Gabriel were bound not only by the tools and memories, but by an unspoken understanding that had forged a connection beyond the ordinary. The moments of their shared journey unveiled layers of Gabriel's soul, and the delicate dance of their emotions deepened their connection. The memory shop became a sanctuary for both heart and soul, a place where the burdens of the past could be released, and the promise of a new beginning could be embraced. The next morning at Mendes Haven, the soft golden light filtered through the lace curtains, casting intricate patterns on the shop's aged wooden floor. Evelyn, with her emerald green eyes that seemed to hold the wisdom of 1,000 lifetimes, stood amidst a collection of memory extraction tools, each imbued with a touch of magic. She meticulously arranged them on a polished wooden shelf, each tool holding its own unique enchantment. Her fingers moved with a reverence born from years of practice. The crimson embrace vial, a delicate glass vessel with a deep red hue, finding its place next to the silver serenade extractor, its silvery surface gleaming softly. As she carefully positioned a small jar labeled Eternal Sunset, a vessel that held a particularly poignant memory, Evelyn's thoughts drifted to the memories they contained, the emotions that were preserved for eternity within those glass walls. The door to the shop chimed gently, and there he was. Gabriel, the enigmatic client from the previous day, stood at the threshold, his eyes a mix of determination and vulnerability. The visit to Mendes Haven had left an indelible mark on him, and he had returned, ready to delve deeper into the memories that haunted him. Evelyn, with her innate understanding of the courage it took to confront the past, met Gabriel with a reassuring nod, her emerald eyes reflecting the soft light that enveloped the shop. His presence was a testament to the trust he had placed in her, and the unspoken promise that she could help him heal. The room seemed to hum with a quiet anticipation as Gabriel approached the counter where the antique memory extraction tools awaited their purpose. He took a deep breath, his chest rising and falling with the weight of the memories he was about to relive. The room's ambience created an intimate space, separate from the outside world, where the past could be explored, understood, and perhaps, eventually, let go. "I've carried these memories for far too long," Gabriel admitted, his voice soft but resolute. He locked his gaze with Evelyn's, a silent plea for understanding and assistance. Evelyn's expression was one of empathy and a deep connection that transcended words. "You've come to the right place," she assured him, her words carrying a gentle strength. "We can begin whenever you're ready." Gabriel nodded, his internal turmoil evident in the lines on his forehead. It was as though he stood at the edge of a precipice, teetering on the brink of diving into the depths of his own past. The room held its breath as the decision hung in the air. With a slow, determined nod, Gabriel finally took a deep breath and closed his eyes. Evelyn retrieved a delicate silver vial, its surface etched with intricate patterns. The vial had seen countless memories extracted and laid bare, its presence imbued with a sense of sacred purpose. Evelyn's touch was gentle but purposeful as she brought the vial to Gabriel's temple. A soft, golden light enveloped them, casting a warm, otherworldly glow throughout the room. The memory extraction process had begun, and the room seemed to come alive with a tangible energy, an embodiment of the catharsis taking place. As Evelyn delved into Gabriel's memories, the moments of their shared journey unveiled layers of his soul. His expression shifted, revealing moments of unbridled joy and the depths of heartache. Gabriel's memories danced like fragile butterflies, and Evelyn was there with him, a silent companion in his journey, guiding him through the tumultuous waters of his past. The afternoon sun cast long, golden streaks of light across the interior of Mendes Haven. Evelyn and Gabriel, locked in the profound moment of memory extraction, seemed to exist in their own world, a world where pain, catharsis, and the promise of healing mingled. Evelyn's touch was gentle as she held the silver memory extraction vial to Gabriel's temple. The golden light enveloped them, the room alive with a palpable energy. As the memory was pulled from the depths of Gabriel's consciousness, his face contorted with the raw intensity of reliving the past. The memory that unfolded before them was one of heartache and loss, a moment of goodbye that had left an indelible scar on Gabriel's soul. His clenched fists and furrowed brow were a testament to the emotional turmoil he experienced. The room seemed to echo with the pain of that memory, the emotions hanging in the air like a haunting melody. Evelyn's gaze remained locked on Gabriel throughout the process. Her emerald eyes held a reflection of his pain, as if she was sharing the memory with him, feeling the echoes of his past. It was an unspoken connection, a promise that she would guide him through the storm of emotions and provide solace. The memory extraction process continued, the golden light intensifying. Gabriel's breathing grew labored as he journeyed deeper into the past, the memories unfurling like pages of a forgotten diary. As the room's energy pulsed, the connection between Evelyn and Gabriel deepened, forging a bond that transcended the ordinary. In the midst of the extraction, Gabriel's voice quivered and he whispered, "I can't believe I've held on to this for so long." His vulnerability was laid bare, and it was as if the weight of the memory was being shared between them. Evelyn's reassuring voice broke through the silence, her words offering a lifeline in the storm. "You're stronger than you realize, Gabriel, and you don't have to carry this burden alone." The room held its breath as the memory extraction reached its climax, the emotional stakes higher than ever. Gabriel's eyes met Evelyn's, and in that moment, a silent understanding passed between them. He was not alone in his pain, and she was there to help him find release. As the memory was safely sealed in the silver vial, Gabriel's shoulders seemed to lighten, the weight of the past slowly receding. The room's golden glow began to fade, leaving them in the soft, ambient light of the shop. Gabriel's gaze remained locked on Evelyn, his voice carrying a newfound sense of trust and connection. "Thank you," he said, his words filled with gratitude and a hint of something deeper. "I never thought I'd find someone who could help me heal." Evelyn smiled, her eyes reflecting the warmth of the room. "You're not alone on this journey, Gabriel," she replied. "We'll navigate these memories together, and in time, you'll find the healing you seek." The memory shop, filled with its collection of preserved moments, held a new layer of meaning for both of them. It was a place of solace, where pain could be shared, memories could be released, and the promise of healing could be embraced. The bond between Evelyn and Gabriel had deepened, and their shared journey continued, each memory extraction bringing them closer to understanding and catharsis. The early morning light gently filtered through the lace curtains of Mendes Haven, casting a soft, ethereal glow across the room. Evelyn stood amidst the memory extraction tools, her emerald green eyes reflecting the turmoil within her. The connection between her and Gabriel had deepened, their shared moments lingering in the air like a sweet, melancholic melody. She had always been a mender, a healer of hearts, dedicated to helping others find solace by erasing their painful memories. But with Gabriel, it was different. Their shared moments, the deep dives into his past, had awakened emotions within her that she had long kept dormant. The evening settled into Mendes Haven with a soft, diffused light that lent an aura of serenity to the memory shop. Evelyn and Gabriel stood in the room, but it was not the same room that had once been a sanctuary for healing. The memories they had extracted and the emotions that had blossomed between them had woven a new atmosphere, one that was both beautiful and complex. Evelyn's emerald green eyes reflected the unspoken turmoil within her as she gazed at Gabriel. The connection between them had grown into something neither of them had anticipated. It was a bond forged through shared moments of vulnerability, a connection that transcended the boundaries of a professional relationship. The vials, each containing fragments of their shared journey, had become silent witnesses to the emotions that had bloomed in this room. Gabriel's affection had become increasingly apparent, and his presence was a comforting, yet unsettling presence in Evelyn's life. They stood at a crossroads, their hearts in conflict with their professional roles. The ethereal memories they had extracted were preserved in the glass vials, each a testament to the emotional stakes that had grown between them. The room's ambience seemed to echo their unspoken dilemmas, and the tension in the air was almost palpable. Gabriel broke the silence, his voice soft and filled with longing. "Evelyn, I can't deny that I've developed feelings for you. This connection we share is unlike anything I've ever experienced." Evelyn's heart ached as she met his gaze, her own emotions laid bare. "Gabriel, I feel the same way, but we're standing at a delicate precipice. Our professional roles have boundaries, and I don't want to cross a line that could harm either of us." The weight of their emotions hung in the air, a powerful silence that carried the complexity of their feelings. The room seemed to hold its breath, waiting for a decision that would shape the course of their relationship. Just then, the door opened, and Victoria, Evelyn's close friend, entered the shop. She took in the palpable tension and the unspoken dilemmas that surrounded Evelyn and Gabriel. Concern etched on her face, she addressed them. "Evelyn, Gabriel, you can't continue down this path without addressing the ethical dilemmas you're facing. Your roles as a mender and a client have become entangled in something more complex." Evelyn and Gabriel exchanged a glance, their affection and the ethical questions intertwining in their shared gaze. Victoria continued, "You need to decide if you want to cross this line, knowing that it may change the nature of your relationship, but you also need to be prepared for the potential consequences." The room seemed to close in around them, the vials holding fragments of memories a testament to the path they had embarked upon. The decision weighed heavy on their hearts, and the room held the weight of their emotions. As the evening wore on, Evelyn and Gabriel found themselves in a pivotal conversation. It was a reckoning, a moment that would define the course of their relationship and the journey of healing that they had undertaken. They had come to a crossroads, and the decision they made that night would shape the path ahead, leading them either into uncharted territory or back to the boundaries of their professional roles. The room, once a place of solace and healing, now held the complexity of their emotions, a sweet and bitter dilemma that they could no longer ignore. The evening had settled over Mendes Haven. casting the room in a soft, ambient light. Evelyn and Gabriel stood in the midst of the very dilemma that had been creeping into their lives, casting shadows over their connection. The room, once a place of healing, now held an unspoken tension that seemed to thicken the air. Evelyn's emerald green eyes bore the weight of a profound decision that loomed before her. The connection between her and Gabriel had grown into something neither had expected, a bond that defied the boundaries of their professional roles. The vials, once mere containers for memories, were now witnesses to the emotional complexities that had taken root in the room. Gabriel, with a longing in his eyes that mirrored Evelyn's own, spoke softly. "Evelyn, I can't deny the feelings that have developed between us. This connection we share is unlike anything I've ever experienced." Evelyn's heart ached with a mixture of desire and trepidation as she met his gaze, her emotions laid bare. "Gabriel, I feel the same way, but we're at a crossroads. Our roles as a mender and a client have boundaries that must be respected. We need to tread carefully to avoid potential harm." The room seemed to hold its breath, the unspoken dilemmas and emotions swirling in the air. They had become entangled in a web of affection and ethical questions, a complex tapestry that demanded a choice. At that moment, the door creaked open, and Victoria, a trusted friend, entered the shop. The palpable tension and unresolved dilemmas between Evelyn and Gabriel did not escape her notice. Concern etched her features as she addressed them. "Evelyn, Gabriel, you can't continue down this path without confronting the ethical challenges you're facing. Your roles as mender and client are entwined in something more intricate than anticipated." Evelyn and Gabriel exchanged a glance, their affection and the ethical complexities woven into their shared gaze. Victoria continued, her voice holding a note of urgency. "You need to decide if you're willing to cross this line, understanding that it may fundamentally change your relationship. You must also be prepared for the potential consequences." The room seemed to close in around them, the vials containing fragments of memories serving as a visual reminder of their shared journey and the decisions they had yet to make. The weight of their emotions hung in the air, an unspoken gravity that they could no longer evade. As the evening wore on, Evelyn and Gabriel found themselves in a pivotal conversation. It was a moment of reckoning, a juncture that would define the course of their relationship and the journey of healing they had undertaken. They were at a crossroads, and the decision they made that night would shape the path ahead. The room, which had been a sanctuary for healing, now held the complexity of their emotions, a sweet and bitter dilemma that could no longer be ignored. They stared at each other, the room's soft light casting shadows on their faces, and the silence around them seemed to amplify the gravity of their decision. Whether to continue down this uncharted path or retreat to the safety of professional boundaries remained an open question. Their hearts were entangled in an intricate dance, and the choice they made would dictate the direction of their relationship, forever altering the course of their shared journey. The morning sun cast a warm, golden hue into Mendes Haven, illuminating the room where Evelyn and Gabriel stood, a palpable tension hanging in the air. They had reached a crossroads, their connection tested by the ethical dilemmas that loomed over them. Evelyn's emerald green eyes bore the weight of their shared decision, a decision that would define the direction of their relationship. Gabriel's gaze was filled with a mixture of longing and apprehension, emotions that mirrored Evelyn's own. "Gabrielle," Evelyn began, her voice soft yet resolute, "we've explored the depths of our emotions and the complexities of our connection. We understand the ethical dilemmas that confront us." He nodded, his voice carrying the weight of their shared understanding. "Evelyn, I care for you deeply, but I also understand the potential consequences and the societal judgments we may face." The room seemed to hold its breath, the memories they had extracted lingering in the air, like fragments of their shared journey. The decision weighed heavy on their hearts, the gravity of their choice amplifying the silence around them. At that moment, the door opened, and Victoria, Evelyn's close friend and confidant, entered the shop. She took in the emotional atmosphere and addressed them. Evelyn Gabriel, it's essential to consider the potential consequences of your decision. Society may not understand the complexities of your relationship, and the choice you make could affect both your personal lives and your professional roles. Evelyn and Gabriel exchanged a glance, the unspoken complexities and ethical concerns woven into their shared gaze. Victoria continued, providing guidance in their time of uncertainty. You must decide whether to embrace the potential risks of continuing down this path or to preserve the boundaries of your professional roles. The room seemed to close in around them, the vials on the shelves representing a silent audience to their deliberations. The weight of their emotions hung in the air, an unspoken gravity that they could no longer evade. Evelyn and Gabriel stood at the precipice, their hearts entangled in an intricate dance of emotions and ethics. They had come to a decision that would define the course of their relationship and the journey of healing they had embarked upon. As the room's soft light cast shadows on their faces, the choice they made would dictate the direction of their shared journey, forever altering the course of their lives. Their decision was reached in a shared moment of understanding, a choice that acknowledged the potential risks and embraced the depth of their feelings. The room, once a place of solace and healing, now held the complexity of their emotions, a sweet and bitter truth that could no longer be denied. With their decision made, Evelyn and Gabriel prepared for another memory extraction, a pivotal moment that would solidify the path their relationship would take. As they embarked on the extraction, their hands touched, the room alive with the anticipation of what lay ahead. Their journey was far from over, but it was a journey they had chosen to walk together, acknowledging the ethical dilemmas and potential consequences, but also embracing the depth of their feelings and the promise of healing that lay before them.